comparing to the KKK is, it's ignorant. I agree with that 100%. I agree for the most part of your statement. I just, a couple questions for you to clarify, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, as the Black Lives Matter movement, I understand there's people who are actually for the movement. And I also understand that there's people who, say they're part of the movement, but they use the name to, do acts of violence.
Yeah.
So do you think that those people, the people who are actually rioting and hurting law enforcement officers, would you consider them part of the Black Lives Matter movement, or,
that's a tricky question, because
right.
And it also makes the movement, I agree 100%, like it makes the movement look bad, and it's the whole reason people are saying that the movement needs to stop, or it's a terrorist group, because certain individuals go out and commit acts of violence, and they say it's for the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't think those few people who do that, I guess in a sense it kind of reflects poorly on the movement, but I don't think as a whole it should be demonized just because a few acts of violence by a few radicals.
Right. Okay, I get that.
Because there are riots all over, like after baseball games or football games, people get upset if their team wins or their team loses, and they go out, but that shouldn't reflect poorly on the team that they're doing it for.
Absolutely, I agree with that. See, I'm trying to think of what else I read that one clarification on. So I guess the name in itself, see how can I word this question with it not sounding like the majority of people?
Yeah.
Let's see. So, like, would it offend you if, like, I guess what's your stance on the difference between, like, when cops are getting killed, why is it different to say cop lives matter?
I agree that cop lives matter. I have family who is in law enforcement, so I don't agree with the killing of officers, and I do believe that all lives matter. I was just stating that the phrase in itself was used to sort of put down the movement, mm-hmm. And I think a lot more people would agree with the movement if from the start they would have said Black Lives Matter too. I think it wouldn't be as big of a deal as just, because a lot of people are taking it as only Black Lives Matter, and that's
right.
As that's not what the movement is about. I think adding the two at the end would have helped, but in my opinion, I think all lives matter. But I'm not gonna go around, saying that, because a lot of people who are, affiliate themselves with the movement consider that that phrase trying to put their movement down.
Absolutely. And would you agree that, like, from the start, if we would have had a better term, a name for the movement, do you think it would have stopped a lot of the segregation that came with that movement?
I think so.
Okay.
I think, like, in general, it all started with really good intentions, and it's still going with great intentions. It's sad that there are people who are going out and killing, officers, mm-hmm. and saying, we're trying to make a statement and say that Black Lives Matter by going to kill another person. We're trying to say that our lives matter more than this other person. And I think, the way they're going, not a lot of people, but a few people within the movement, I think they're overly aggressive, and it's kind of shoving the Black Lives Matter more instead of the message of Black Lives Matter too.
Absolutely.
But I think if they would have had a better name, from the start, it would have been a lot better.
Absolutely. And as a law enforcement officer myself, I think that, if at the beginning the name would have been different, it would have caused, less segregation, less violence, just because, it's just like when you fill out college applications, when they ask you for your race, it really doesn't matter. You're all people. So I think if the name in itself, personally, would have a name that included more, I understand the movement completely. I understand what you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I just think if the name would include more than, just Black Lives Matter, not saying that all lives matter, not saying all lives matter is like a terrible thing, but either one of those names, if they were to get rid of, I think that the violence would be a lot less, and a lot less violence in the world.
I agree 100%.
Okay, well, just wanted to clarify that with you. It was a good talk.
It was a great talk.
You have a nice day.
I'm glad it was respectful too.
Yeah. Well, you have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.